Hey guys, if you clicked on this video, you are probably like me, someone who really appreciated David Lynch's career. Now today, David Lynch obviously passed away, and we were just hearing the news of this, and, quite recently I had a video do really well that was a Twin Peaks video. I was talking about, comparing the gold box versus the Blu-ray set for Twin Peaks. And I didn't think I was going to do a video like this, but, I got home from work tonight and just thought, I want to do it. I want to talk a little bit about my experiences with David Lynch. So obviously, I'm a big Twin Peaks fan. And if you're here like me, you're a David Lynch fan in general. I want to briefly talk about how I got into him.
Would you like some pie?
Massive quantities and a glass of water, sweetheart. My socks are on fire.
So I don't remember exactly what year this was. I want to say 2011 or 12. But somebody recommended Twin Peaks to me. And maybe it wasn't even that. Maybe I saw some stuff about it online. And I was like, I need to watch that. What's it on? And at that time, it was on Netflix. So, I went and checked it out. I watched, at that time, I watched the pilot and maybe like the first episode of the first season. And like a lot of people I know, I was kind of like, I don't know if I like this. I came back to it a few weeks later, binged all of it, fell in love with it. I started reading about it as I am one to do. Anytime I find out, I'm one of those people who, if I like something, first place I go is Wikipedia. I do a little brief deep dive, and then I get everything I can, my hands on information on this topic. So I became obsessed with Twin Peaks, and I started looking into David Lynch, and I was like, oh, okay, I know David Lynch. I'm at least familiar with Elephant Man. I had seen that.
I just had 2 Cokes, 2 cookies and a Coke. This is phenomenal.
So basically what happened is I became a huge fan of Twin Peaks itself. And I was very eagerly waiting and anticipating Twin Peaks: The Return, as many people were. Many people for a lot longer than me. I was a new fan. By the time it came out, I'd only been a fan for about 6 years. I didn't wait 25 years.
Who gives a fucking shit how long a scene is?
So what I'm going to do is just go through, I have a stack of his movies here, and some other things. Not too much, but I just want to kind of talk about him for a minute. So here we've got Eraserhead. Cleaned and remastered, plus extras.
Believe it or not, Eraserhead is my most spiritual film.
Mm-hmm. Why elaborate on that?
No.
This is a 2005 Absurdia release. And the back just says, in heaven, everything is fine. And that rings true today. This movie is a movie that is not for everybody, but hardcore David Lynch fans will be all over this thing. What's funny is for years, I would confuse the cover of this with Barton Fink because of essentially the hair. We have Elephant Man, which is a movie that, again, I saw this one actually as a kid, and it wasn't my bag when I was a kid, I can say that. I understood the type of movie it was, though. But a few years ago, I went through and collected all of David Lynch's movies. He said numerous times, and some of these have inserts that'll tell you why it doesn't have scene lists, essentially, like DVDs would have often in the early 2000s.
Wow, does that taste good in Georgia, Matt? A cookie and a Coca-Cola. 10 times better, 100 times better than anywhere else.
We've got Dune, which is, for some reason, the only one I have on Blu-ray. It's pretty crazy, huh? If you're wondering why that is, it's because I usually just prioritize buying movies I don't have as opposed to upgrading. Sometimes I upgrade. But, this is the first time he worked with Kyle. Honestly, it's not a bad movie. I really enjoyed Dune. It's not a movie I go out of my way to watch all the time. Probably one of my less watched Lynch films, but worth mentioning. And then we've got the ever-popular Blue Velvet. Now, I can think of at least 3 references to this movie in pop culture that You know, some people I don't even think realize are references to Blue Velvet. So the first one is Jason Mewes in Clerks.
I'll fuck anything that moves!
Which is obviously reference to Dennis Hopper's character in Blue Velvet. And then there's the movie Biodome. Pauly Shore references being Dennis Hopper in Blue Velvet.
Dennis Hopper, Blue Velvet. Oh, I'm slutty. Oh, I'm slutty.
The last one being the movie The Squid and the Whale. There's a little scene where they're like, oh, hey, we're going to go see a movie. And he's like, I can't even remember what the other movie is. They're like, yeah, we want to go see this movie. And he's like, oh, hey, Blue Velvet's out. Let's go see that. David Lynch's Wild at Heart, which is a wild fucking movie. Starring Nicolas Cage and Laura Dern, two of my favorite people. Willem Dafoe, Crispin Glover's in this, like a couple of the usual suspects like Isabella Rossellini and Harry Dean Stanton. This is the Kino Lorber version. I'm pretty sure this is a few years old at this point. I don't remember when I got this, but I actually found it on VHS at a flea market for like $1 like a couple of years ago and was like, holy crap, all right. Now, Lost Highway. Lost Highway to me is super underrated. Easily one of my favorites. Bill Pullman, Patricia Arquette. It's just so weird. It's one of those movies like it's just, you know what I mean? I can't even find the words, and I'm thinking about it now, especially just in the context that David's gone, and it's fucked up. Next up, we have The Straight Story, and it's interesting. I was actually just talking to Christian from Planet CHH about this the other day. But either way, this is definitely one worth checking out, especially now, you know what I mean? If you've never watched this one, just throw it in. Now, Mulholland Drive, easily one of my favorite movies of all time. This is one of those ones, I see something new every time I watch it. I really appreciate and love it. And this is one of those ones that I love the little insert here. Mulholland Drive, David Lynch's 10 clues to unlocking this thriller. Number 1, pay particular attention in the beginning of the film. At least 2 clues are revealed before the credits. Number 2, notice appearances of the red lampshade. Like, my God, that's a movie right there, guys. That's how it's done. Now we've got the 2-disc special edition of Inland Empire. This is done by Studio Canal, also Absurdia and Rhino. Interesting. This is where, you know, his style of like these last couple movies, Lost Highway and Mulholland Drive and Inland Empire, you start to really see where he was going to go with Twin Peaks: The Return. And speaking of Twin Peaks, I just pulled these out. So the original series, Fire Walk with Me and the Missing Pieces. What more can I say about this? I love Twin Peaks. It is my favorite television show of all time. And the reason I fell in love with David Lynch and my favorite thing that he's done, including The Return. Like, let's just look at that beautiful artwork again. Don't we love it? Like, it's one of those things, I'm going to be rewatching this series for the rest of my life, for sure. I'm thinking now, you know, I'd really like to get his collection of short films. I'd like to get some more of his books. You know, I've been listening to some more of his music today, just because, you know, damn.
In the future, please leave a plate of black coffee out for me. Also in the past.
So basically, I really just wanted to come on here real quick and say, you know, David Lynch, man, we're going to miss him. I think eventually I'm going to have to do a whole series on David Lynch's movies. I haven't reviewed a single one yet. I've done a few different videos on Twin Peaks, but I think 2025 will be the year. Well, that's it, guys. Let me know how you got into David Lynch in the comments down below. I'd love to hear some David Lynch memories from you guys. And if you like this video, be sure to check out this one and hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching.